What's good, family? It's your girl Wisdom, and we are back with another episode. How y'all doing? Are y'all okay? The world is in shambles, honey. Did y'all talk to the ancestors? Did y'all pray? Did you set a candle? Because the world is in damn shambles. Which is the reason why I have been away for a little bit, because your girl had to just soak up everything that's like going on in the world, going on in the art space, going on with governments, going on with money and frequencies and Mother Nature. Like, how can I paint at a time like this? I mean, of course, I painted, as you can see. But how can I paint at a time like this? You know, how can I get on here and create at a time like this? So with that being said, I hope you have had a lovely new year. I have seen y'all since New Year's, but for me, my new year is about to start in March when the spring equinox gets here. So if y'all know, y'all know. Okay. But what I wanted to get on here and talk to y'all about was just the pressure of creation, and how as artists, there's always this intense pressure that we have to keep creating in order to stay relevant. And I'm not gonna lie, I have trickled back into the days where social media did not exist. Okay, where basically people like videographers and photographers would follow artists around and do the behind the scenes of them painting, and then they maybe post it somewhere or slip it into a DVD and then showcase it to the world. Like, that is a space that I'm in right now, where Basquiat and Andy Warhol did those types of things, and you kind of just film them in their creation and creating like this mini docu series and all these things. Speaking of, now that I'm talking about this, I've been going to the library a lot, and I feel like I need to go get, this might be a message for somebody too. I feel like I need to go get a film from back in the day of mini documentaries from artists just doing their creations just in their space, or like looking at pictures from artists just in the process of creating, because that's where I've been at right now. Like, oh, so let's just get this out the way. To my TikTok family, there's no more TikTok. Wisdom is not on TikTok anymore. We are done with TikTok. I was done with TikTok when they said TikTok was done with us. So what had happened was, when I was editing my last episode, I usually have a tendency of offloading all of my apps on my phone, just to make sure like the storage goes through and everything like that, because I'm like releasing a lot of old shit and I'm adding a lot of new stuff in my life, you know what I'm saying? So I offloaded TikTok, not even thinking about TikTok and what's going on at the height of TikTok or anything like that. I offloaded it, and when I offloaded it, I could not get it back. So if y'all have been wondering, TikTok family, if y'all have been wondering where the hell I've been at, why I have not been live, that's the reason. There's no more TikTok. TikTok is gone. So go ahead and just come over here to the YouTube side. I could do a lot more over here. And since then, I have gone, I've done a live stream here on YouTube, and I plan on doing more, but I just had to sit and wait it out, because it's been a lot going on in this world, and it's getting hectic out here. You know, people out here fighting in these streets. These fires ain't playing. Mother Nature is 1-2 uppercut. Like, she is not playing with us. Okay, she is sick of it. I'm sick of this, Grandpa. Well, it's too damn bad. She's sick of it. She's sick of it. All right, she's tired of people misusing and abusing materials and resources, and she's just like, I'ma just do what they said I couldn't do. I'm gonna do what they said that they didn't think that I was capable of doing times 10. All right, and let's see how they like that. right? So we in a world right now where it's like so much going on, and that's kind of just like the space that I've been in right now, where I'm like, I've been called back into society for a little bit, like just paying attention to like what's going on, whether it's with government officials, whether it's BRICS. And when I say BRICS, I just mean what's going on in like Africa and China, or like what's going on with wars and everything. Like there's just so much. There's so much going on. And then like in my personal life, there has been so much like to be excited about. So like I've been making some moves. I've been doing things behind the scenes, right? There's so many things to be excited about. And I'm like, how in the hell do I get back on YouTube and I talk to these people without addressing all the shit? Like how do you do that? And I was kind of in that space where like the ancestors was like, so you address it, Maddie. Like you address it. You just say what needs to be said because nobody else is saying it in a way that you need to be saying it. And it made me think about like revolutionary revolutionist, I should say, and like the Renaissance, early Renaissance, and I'm connecting chaos to art, and how they took the things that was going on in the world and they used that as a catalyst in order for them to spread narratives, spread awareness about what is actually going on within the world and different viewpoints and injustices that are going on as well. Even with the whole DEI situation, like I'm at like a point right now where like even with DEI, I feel like y'all just creating more spaces for Black and brown people and indigenous people to flourish on our own. That's what we asked for. So leave us alone. That's what we asked for. Leave us alone. If y'all don't like us, it's fine. We could go somewhere else, and we're gonna continue to create other platforms and other experiences for ourselves, and by dismantling your businesses as well. That's where I'm at with that whole situation. But getting back into the art space, like I'm like toyed between all these different ideas of like creating from my inner child, but then also creating from a space of like, okay, I got something to say, and I want whatever I have to say to be expressed in a specific way, but not in like a traditional way. So for those of y'all, as of lately, where you haven't had like a spark of creation, or you have like little hints and nudges, I say follow it. Follow it. It doesn't mean you have to create the entire painting, or you got to create the song, or you got to create the whole choreography to the whole dance and everything right then and right there. But follow the Alice in Wonderland hole. Follow that. Follow the rabbit with the little thing. Follow that. And go down the rabbit hole and be like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is this? And then see what comes out of that, because that's literally where I've been at, like just following my own guidance, following my own intuition, but also taking into account like, okay, well, what's going in the world, and how can I best piece all of these energies together that just make sense. So that has been where your girl is at. That's why I've been gone, because I've been looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, what in the hell? What in the hell? It's burning. And it ain't no water. The glaciers is going into the water. There's no more glaciers. And it's burning. There's too much stuff going on, y'all. So I hope y'all are safe. I hope y'all are well. If y'all need me to put y'all on my little altar for a little prayer, let me know. I'll put a little prayer just for you. If you're going through something right now, let a girl know. Just leave it in the comments, okay? Because I get it. So getting into the basis of this episode, this literally stemmed from back in January, where I was looking at all these things from threads, to different type of posts that artists were making, where they felt like I'm gonna say we too, feeling like we have to always monetize our shit. And I'm gonna just say it. let me say ish, because I be cursing a lot. I'm sorry, I can't help it. But artists feeling like we always have to monetize our ish, or the expectation of everything has to be made from a place of money, or even just feeling obligated to create when we don't have to do nothing at all. Sometimes we just need to do some internal work. Sometimes we need to do spiritual work. Sometimes we are grieving. Sometimes we might be depressed. Sometimes we might be burnt out. Okay? And it's important for us to make sure that we allow those experiences to take their time, and allow ourselves to flow through those certain experiences, instead of trying to push for something that's just not there yet, that's just not present. So like right now, I have 2 commissions right now that I have to finish up. And I have some other things that I have to attend to as well, just on the artist and career side, right? And then I also have to meet with my clients as well. Like, the clients have been crazy busy, right? So it's like, I have all of these responsibilities, and in the beginning it was kind of hard to like get back into my own flow, because number one, I'm creating from a space where I'm doing commissions, right? I'm creating from a space of like, okay, this is something that is cool for me, but also making sure like this, whatever piece that I'm creating, is good for the client. And I'm just like, okay, when do I get to come back to me? When do I get to come back to self? And I'm like, I got all these paintings over here that I started back in 2024 and they ain't finished. And I'm like, why are they not finished? And then I'm like, I haven't been posting as much. And it's like, I was in a space of like, feeling like I have to do one thing after the other, because society tells us if we are not posting, or we are not constantly creating content, then we're not relevant. Then we cease to exist. And literally, social media and this whole algorithm thing, it'll literally get people off from creating from a clean space, creating from a sacred place. So if you're in that space right now where you're feeling like you need to be doing something, I want you to sit down. I want you to sit down for a second. I want you to pause and ask yourself, what is it exactly that you need, as opposed to feeling obligated to do something that you are not in the mood to actually do right now. And that was kind of how I had to sit with myself. So there were days where like I was like, okay, I feel ready to paint. I feel inspired. I feel a spark to paint. And I would sit and paint for maybe 12 hours a day, right? Or I'd go through my entire day, do my clients, do the whole shebang. And then I'm waking up at like 1 a.m. in the morning, and I just decide like, okay, like I just want to paint, and I'm painting for the next 6 hours, and I'm like, ooh, I need to go to bed. Or there'll be other times where I'm like, I want to paint, I should paint, but I don't feel ready yet. And I had to move on to something else. And like during those times where I knew I needed to move on to something else, I picked up new books. I got inspired by film. I've been watching a lot of film lately, a lot of Barry Allen, The Flash, okay? Just getting inspired by new ideas and new narratives. I even started back writing too, like writing my own book and everything like that. So it's just like I had to come away from the art space just because art was starting to feel like an obligation rather than feeling like this is coming from a place where I feel whole, where I feel free, and I could be myself. You know, because at the end of the day, like I still have a business, and it's important for artists to note that even though you may have a business, you need to be able to have a balance between, okay, I'm creating from a space that is wholesome. I'm creating from a space that feels right for me, that feels in tune with me. But I'm also making sure I handle and take care of my responsibilities, but not letting this side override this side. You know what I mean? Not letting it knock you out the ballpark to the point where it's so hard for you to come back from. And I was so thankful that during the season of just being away from social media, and that's all I think it was. Like, I literally took a break from social media. Like even when I logged in on the TikTok, like on my laptop, I was like, I want to be on here. Where is everybody at? Like, are you seeing old stuff? And I'm like, TikTok's not gonna update anymore. Like, they don't care. Like, and I was just like, I want to create a whole new space where like I feel welcomed. My new art self feels welcomed, where new people in this space feel welcomed. And you have to allow that new self just to blossom into whatever it needs to blossom into, and give it the time and space to do that and be patient with that. And so throughout this period, like, you have to learn, if you're feeling pressure to do something that you're not ready to do, you have to be patient with whatever space that you're in right now and whatever it is that you're going through, and to identify, okay, am I burnt out? Am I depressed? Am I just tired? Do I need to take a break? You know, do I need to work on my mental, my spiritual health, you know, or do I need to go to a different avenue in order to work on something just to keep my mind busy, right? And so, and then making sure like you're not worrying or stressing about what it is, that the idea or the project that just hasn't formulated just yet. And when I tell y'all, I just focused on me this entire time, of just focusing on like my spirituality, focusing on my inner child and the things that she needed, the things that came up where I was just like, okay, yeah, girl, we got to deal with that. And how do you feel after that? And then just journaling. Then those new ideas, those new sparks and inspirations towards my art was like, well, you went through this, so now create something that's geared toward this theme or this idea. And now I'm like getting stuff like right before I go to bed, or like when I took my walk this rising, I'm like getting stuff during my walk, getting messages during my walk, and just allowing myself to flow with whatever ideas and concepts that are coming through my brain, and writing them down. And y'all know how I am about journaling. You need to journal. You need to have an artist journal. You need a personal journal, and you need a business journal. Get all three of those, okay? That way your ideas are just, oh, you just pick it up and just be like, okay, well, what did I write 2 months ago? Can I do that idea now? And I literally sat on this video. I sat on this video for probably like a month and a half. So sometimes that's how it happens. Like, you may have an idea, and that whole idea hasn't completely formed just yet, because you need access to new information. You need access to new ideas, or a new perspective on how to generate whatever it is that you either need to say, or whatever story you're trying to tell through whatever your creative endeavor is. And that's basically what this was. So when I first wrote the episode for this, I was like, okay, this is my idea, this is where I'm going, but I'm not sure how this is about to formulate, right? I don't know if this is gonna make sense just yet. And then today, just magically during my walk, they were like, this is the rest of it. This is what you're supposed to talk about. We have soaked up everything in society. We have soaked up everything that we have processed through. We have we have made new accomplishments, and we're preparing to tell the world and share with the world, and we've been creating new ideas, and now we could just now we just do this to the world. And I feel like that's the best part of just trusting the process as an artist, and not pushing yourself to do something that you're not fully ready to do just yet. And it's important to note take these things just to see like, okay, where was I when I was feeling like I was going through like a creative block? Or where was I at when I felt like I was just burnt out? You know, what are the things that I was experiencing? Like, did I lay down? Did I journal more? Did I tap into my spirituality more? And then like, okay, now how do I feel with all this like new and refreshed energy? Like, do I feel like that I could just conquer the world and just go into whatever it needs, or whatever I need to go into for the projects that I was able to write down whenever I was in that don't fake the funk. I don't know, that's coming out. Don't fake the funk. Whenever I was in that funk, what was going on, what was I processing through, and how did I get myself out of that. And so I just feel like it's super important for me to be able to share with you guys. If you're feeling obligated to do something, it just means you're not ready yet. And because you're not ready, that means you need to process through something, or you need to create from a place that doesn't feel like you're forcing it. You're creating from a place where it's either through your inner child, or you're creating from a place where it just feels like, you know what, I'm gonna just do this thing, and I don't care, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it, and I don't care what my ego self has to say about it, and it's just gonna be there. And I'm not going to put a price on it. I'm not going to give a name for it. It's just going to be there. And allow it to sit and allow it to fester and manifest on its own. Because that's essentially what ideas are. That's essentially what you going off of your own hunches and your ideas looks like. Okay? Another part of this whole conversation was just like, people put so much pressure on artists to come up with ideas so quickly, instead of allowing us to sit with our own ideas and allow us to process through what it is that we need to go through. Like, I might be depressed, okay? Which is why you ain't seen me. I'm just using this as an example for anybody. Like, don't be asking me where I'm at. I'm alive, okay? Let me process my ish. All right. I might have just had a family member that just passed away. And you worried about, oh, so when them new hoodies coming out? Never, since you asking. Like, maybe I have ideas and concepts and things that I want to do a specific way that needs to be developed. Even the materials need to get there, the finances need to get there, or maybe the exposure needs to get there. In order, certain things have to be put in place in order for certain things to happen. And I feel like we are in this world right now where people feel like they should have access to everything. That's not how it works. When you have so much access and then you don't know how to use, when you don't know how to use minerals, you don't know how to use resources resourcefully, you end up with all the clothes up in Kenya and Ghana, in the oceans. You end up with all them clothes and textiles in the fish. We eating microplastics. That's what happens when we're not allowing ourselves to utilize the world in the most purposeful way. So it's very important that you don't allow your art to become fast fashion. And y'all know I've said this before, to not allow your art to become mass production, because it's not. You create from a space of, this is the idea, this is me building off the idea, and however long that takes for me to build off that idea is however long it takes. And I'm not going to pressure myself just to meet the demands of society that aren't even, what's the word, realistic. Most of these demands that y'all keep asking are not realistic. How the hell you want me to post 5 times a day? What? I don't talk that much for me to be doing that. Who am I talking to be doing that? Who are we talking to? You know? Unless I got content on end, I guess. But for the average person, people don't like talking like that. At least I don't. I'm just saying. I know I get on here and I ramble, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes I like to be quiet. There's a lot of answers you can get by being quiet. And maybe that's another thing too. Like, y'all need to learn just to be quiet. Listen to God. That is, the best answers come through silence and isolation. Or listening to the trees, listening to the wind, listening to water, listening to nature. You can get all the answers you need by just being still, by just being quiet. And I feel like we're in a world right now where it's so much noise. It's so much noise. And when there's so much noise, it's hard for any creative to really process ideas, to formulate their own identity, but making sure, like, you're not ignoring what the other world the other world. And when I say other world, I just mean like the world that's not you, like your own inner world. Like, it's hard to ignore what's going on out there while you're in here. And that's the place to where I was at, where I was trying to figure out, like, okay, like what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do when I go back outside? What kind of ideas am I gonna formulate when I go back outside? And as artists, you have to respect your space of just saying, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. And when I am ready, I'll be ready. And I don't want to feel rushed. I don't want to be forced or pressured, or I don't want to feel like I'm gonna lose out or miss out on anything if I don't do the thing right now. Like, when it's ready and it's formulated, that's like eating a Hot Pocket and it's still cold. It's cold in the middle. it ain't ready yet. And then you take it out and you eat the Hot Pocket. Remember how them Hot Pockets used to be hot as hell? And you be, yeah, it ain't ready yet. Put it down. And then you sit it for too long and then it's all cold again. See, because you was impatient. You was impatient. So let yourself cook. Let yourself process your own ish as an artist. And for the people that is the audience of an artist, you are a supporter of an artist, let us cook. Let us process through our own ish. And when we ready to come back, when that Hot Pocket is just nice and warm, you know, then we can eat. We gonna eat, and we gonna all eat, and we gonna eat real good, okay? Just like we doing right now. With all that being said, all I want to say is right now, pour into yourself as an artist. Just pour into yourself. Because when you pour into yourself, whether spiritually, physically, or mentally, that's when you can prepare yourself in order to come back into the world and get and share with the world what you have learned. And that's exactly what I did. Pouring into yourself is so essential as an artist and your art process, because it allows you to gain new perspective on any works that you're actually working on, but actually gain new perspective on how you want to move forward in your artist journey. And you have to be able to trust that process of stillness, of pouring into yourself, wherever that looks like, and knowing that your spark is not gone. Your spark has not left you. If you was the ish a few months ago, and when you left your art, you're gonna be the ish when you come back. Ain't nothing changed. The only thing that has changed is your perspective, and the only thing that has changed is you gaining new insight and you gaining new ideas, because you allowed yourself to, number one, pour into yourself. Two, you trusted yourself, your own guidance, and the guidance of your ancestors or the universe, whoever it is you believe in. But also, two, you allowed yourself to be open and receptive to new things, and to be educated in a different way. So I hope this was a great video for us to come back to, and I hope y'all are doing well. And until next time, I will see y'all soon. Bye.